Hello everyone and welcome again to another episode of our tutorial series, The Intermediate Guide. And welcome to this new episode that we are going to talk about new stuff and new features here in Photoshop CC. In the last episode we learned, guys, how to use those filter gallery here, the filter gallery, the liquify, the vanishing points, etc. and everything. So right now we can use all these effects here and all this filter to do anything that we want. And we learned, of course, how we can use the gradient colors here, the effect and everything. In this episode we are going to see something that we already knew. It's the quick selection tool, but this time we are going to go ahead and learn something intermediate using this tool, and that is, guys, how we can select and mask anything from any picture that you have. Let's say we have this model here in this picture and we want to select this model from this picture. As you can see, we will have a lot of problem with this picture here because the hair and the background color, they looks like the same, so we will have trouble selecting this model from this picture. So let's go ahead and let's try our best to do this, shall we? So in the first time, of course, we are going to select our quick selection tool here. We learned before the quick selection tool, we will be selecting anything that we have in the picture with the same color. So I will make this size smaller a little bit. Let's make this 25 like this. I think this is cool. I will zoom in just a little bit like this, and I will zoom like this, and I want to start from the bottom here because this is the easy place where we can select. So we can select the hand and everything easy here, just like this. And now we are moving to the hard part, which is the hair here. And now I'm going slowly here and trying to select everything like this, but we already facing problems here. As you can see, we are selecting way too much from the picture we want, and there is area where we can't predict what's happening because the girl have those particular hairs going on like this, and we will have trouble selecting them. So I will do my best here to select those parts here like this, and of course we can do Alt and click to make areas go away. We can click just on the edges here to select those places here like this. Let's do this again like this, and let's take care of this. Let's keep it like this for now. I will just click here like this, and for now we have this selection here. Now what we always do is we keep this selection like this, right, and we start coloring inside of it. But this time we are learning how to select something from any picture and make it, how can I say it, we will select anything we want and we will make it in its own layer. So if you look with me here in the top corner, we have this select and mask. Go ahead and click select and mask. I will click and it will give us this new window here with those features and stuff like this. And as you can see, we have this red background here, and this red background here we can change it. It's in this view mode here. As you can see, we have this view mode. You can click and change it to anything you want. There is a black and white, a one white, one black, and anything. Let's do this on black like this so we can see what we are selecting. It's just a layer mask that will help you do let's say a difference between the object you selected and the picture. So this is the one we selected, this model here. I will make this layer, let's say like this, so we can see clearly what we have selected here. So right now we can see that we have trouble here in the edge here. As you can see, we have this hand. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see clearly what I'm talking about. As you can see here, we have the hand like this from this side here. It's the same from this side here too, but we have really trouble with the hair in this particular area here, right? We have trouble selecting the hair. So what can we do right now? We can switch to this tool here, which is the refine edge brush tool. if you click on this refine edge brush tool, this tool here will try to refine the edge of your selection. So Photoshop will try to detect what you want to select and what you don't want to. Let's say here in our case we have the hair here, so we have those black in the background, right? So when we are going to brush in this area, Photoshop will detect that we don't need those black area here and we want only the hair. So if we zoom in like this, may just zoom in like this, and if you brush, you can see that right now we have more dark area and we have more weight in the picture and more dark area like this. It means that Photoshop are doing his best to select what we don't want from our picture. So I will just keep it like this for now, and we don't want anything from this area here. Let me do Command Z because we don't want this area here as it is, just like this. And let me do this again in this area here, just like this, and we can keep it down to the hair like this. We go back the top corner here, we can do the same with this area here, just something like this. Oh, let me do Command Z, this is really bad. I will make my brush size smaller, looks bigger. Oh, this is smaller a lot. Let's give it 5, shall we? Okay, I can work with this, and I am trying to smooth my selection here and making the hair looks better than before. You will understand when we get out from this selection. So for now I am doing this, making these edges here look smooth as much as we can, just like this, something like this. And we are going to do the same here in this area here, and we'll do the same here. Right now we can say we have a hair selection that can work or not, but for now I'm good with this, and we're moving on to the next selection. Right now we have some problem with the edge, as I said before, right? So we have here some tools that will help us refining the edge. So as you can see in this corner here, we have this edge detection. We have a radius here, so if we make this radius bigger, you can see that we are bringing some edges here. So if we are moving like this, let's make this into 3. You can see that we have this refining edge like this. We can keep this as 3 like this. We have those global refinement. We can make them smooth, as you can see. We are already making a difference with our picture. We have some feather here. As you can see, we don't need feather in our picture, so I'm keeping it as 0. We can give it like this, and we can shift the edge if we want, but in our case we don't want to shift edge. What does it mean shifting the edge? It means like this. We are going to make the picture more we take away from the picture, or we can give it more shape. So for now we are going to keep it at 0, and when we are done with everything, we have this output tool. We can output this as a selection, or we can select to make it into a layer mask. We learned before, guys, how to use the layer mask, of course. So we can do this here. We can make this selection into a layer mask, and it will automatically add a layer mask to our picture. Or we can make this picture into a new layer with the layer mask. You know what does it mean? It means we are going to do a Command G or Control G to duplicate our picture and add to this picture this new layer mask with the new selection. I know this is a lot, but let's go ahead and do this new layer and with mask like this. And when we click OK, you will notice, I will do Command you will notice that we have right now a new layer here. Remember, in the last episode, in the previous episode, we always do Command G or Control G to duplicate our picture, and we start working on this picture. I did the same here using the Photoshop tool, and right now we have 2 pictures, this is the picture with the layer mask we created using the quick selection tool in this selection mask, and this is the original picture. What does it mean? It means even if we do something wrong with our selection, we can correct it because we still have the original picture. We didn't lost anything. So this is the new picture we have here with this strong selection here in this selection here. But let's try this picture in another background. So I will click on V on my keyboard to switch back to my move tool, and I already have a picture here. This is a picture I just found on Google. I have this picture here, and we have our selected picture with the mask here. So what I'm going to do is this: I will click on my picture. I'm clicking on this picture here. I'm selecting this layer and clicking on this layer so I can move it, and I will move this layer to the top here. It will switch back to this document here, and I will move my cursor inside the picture. As you can see, we have this plus sign here, right? So if I drop, we will have our model in our picture like this. And as you can see, we have this clear picture here with everything and anything inside the picture, but we have this problem here, right here in this area, right? So we need to take care of this place here. So let me zoom in, and we are going to make a selection of this area here, just like we always do. I will select this area here, and I will try to get this area one here too, like this. But remember, in the previous picture, we selected the model and we take it with a new layer mask. Right now we are selecting the area that we want to remove. So we don't want to select this area, we want to remove it. But I just selected it. What I'm going to do is to inverse this selection. And we can do this with our keyboard. It's Ctrl, Shift and E. Like this, it will shift the selection. Or we can go to the menu here on the top corner. In select, we have this inverse. It's Shift Ctrl I, or it's Command Shift on your Mac. So if I click this inverse, it will inverse this selection of my picture. And when I click select and mask, as you can see, we have this black area here inside of our picture here. It means we are taking away this area. So let's do what we did before. Let's say I'm going to give some radius to my picture here just to make the edges smooth. Let's give them some smoothness like this. We don't need any feather, but I need something like this. So I think this makes it cool. I will make it into a new layer with a layer mask. There is no harm in it, and we are going to go outside of the picture. But you will notice that right now we did take this area away from our picture, but we did bring everything we don't want to, right? So that's why I told you in the beginning, we need to keep our preview selection. Now what I'm going to do is to click on this selection here, and I will select this selection. But I did click, let me do it let me do it slowly, guys. Here right now we have two selections: the selection where we have the model and this area here, and we have a selection with the model but without this area here. Right now I need to combine those two masks, right? So to do this, we can do just this quick way. If you hover on top of the mask and you click Ctrl on your keyboard, you will see this rectangle close to your hand. It means anywhere we click, it will make a selection based on what you clicked. So right now we have this mask here. So if I click, I will have a selection based on this mask. It means we don't have this background here. So now I am going to select my mask here, my layer mask. I will switch to my brush tool just like this, and I will switch to the weight, because the weight is what we are going to use to make something disappear. I will click X on my keyboard to switch between the black and the white color, and we can just start painting from this area here like this. Sorry, I did a mistake here. That was a mistake here, because this selection is inside here. So I will do command, I will do the Control Shift I or Command Shift I to flip this selection, and right now we can go ahead and delete everything from this layer just like this, as easy as we can. Let me do this just like this, and this, just to make sure we don't have anything left over. And as you can see, we have a clear picture of our model in our new picture, but we still have some problem. And the problem is with the hair here. As you can see, we have this hair, those edges here that we don't really need, right? We need to take care of those. So let's go and do something quickly here. I will select my brush tool again. I will make this size smaller, just something like this, and we are still using this mask here, and I will switch my mode of the brush tool from normal into this into the soft light, and I will make the brush size just like this, and I will try and just do something like this here. As you can see, I'm making this looks softer and softer like this. So I am doing my best here to make this looks better and better, just like this. And voila, we have a model in a picture. Doesn't look like it's out of the picture, it looks like it's part of it. We can of course move the model like this or anywhere we want, but I will just keep it like this. It looks cool. We can scale it, of course, make it bigger or smaller, but for now it looks really amazing with the picture. We can play with the colors, of course, of our pictures and everything, but we are going to do those stuff in the next episode, because in the next episode we are going to do something really amazing. We are going to do some retouches to our model here. We will try to give her, let's say, some makeup in her face, to do some makeup in the face, make it blind with the picture, so we will have the same colors, the same feeling, and let's see what we can do, guys, with these projects. Okay, so I hope to see you in the next episode. I hope you liked what we did in this episode. This is how you can select anything from any picture, and we are going to learn more about selecting people in our advanced episode. We are going to use advanced stuff. This is just an easy way. As we can see, we had problem with the hair. In the next tutorials coming in the advanced guide, we are going to see how we can make amazing selection, but for now we can't do this much because this is what we just learned for now, right? So I hope to see you in the next episode, guys. I hope you like what we did. Subscribe if you do like what we do, and hope to see you in the next episode. Love you guys.